Hi guys, I'm just going to do this video quick. This was just a requested, something that was requested for me to do. It's going to be about how I got baby to sleep through the night. Obviously all children are different, all households are different, so what's worked for us may not necessarily work for your babies, and it may not even necessarily work for if we had any other children. I think in our daughter's case, she's just a very good sleeper, and that helps because her dad likes to sleep a lot, and so do I, and I think so does she, so I think that helps. She's enjoys her long sleep in the night. But anyway, so we'll start from the beginning. So when she was first born, she would be up every 2 hours to feed, like normal newborns. It's really hard, but it does get better. So if you're in that stage still, you just need to think there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it won't be like this forever. For probably from weeks kind of 3 to 5, she was a little bit better. She was waking up probably every 3 hours or so. There'd be the occasional night where she'd go down after her feed at about midnight, and then she wouldn't actually get up again until 4 or 5 in the morning, and those were really good nights. Then when she hit 6 weeks, she suddenly just started to go from kind of midnight all the way through till 6, and that was pretty much happening every day. So she'd go from midnight all the way through till 6. So what I used to do, she'd have 5 bottles a day every 3 to 4 hours. So when she got up at 6, we'd have a feed. Then she'd have one at about 12 at lunchtime. She'd have one at about 10 in the morning. Then she'd have one about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Another one at about 5 or 6, because sometimes she'll go for longer stretches. It just depended how much ounces she was taking, because at this point she was on maybe 4 or 5 ounces, and if she would take the whole bottle she would go for quite a long time without another feed, because we just fed on demand really. Then she'd have another feed around about 9, and then another one at midnight. So I'd wait up until that last feed at midnight, give it to her, then we'd all go to bed for the night. So I was getting kind of 5 hours sleep at that point, which was really nice. Then she got to about 8 weeks, so we carried on in that kind of routine, and then I thought, right, I'm going to take out the midnight feed. So I did. One day I just put her down at 9, I went to sleep, and she never woke up. So, I don't know why, maybe just because she was a little bit older and her tummy was able to hold a little bit more milk at that point, because I think she was on about 5 ounces by then. But she never woke up for it, she never cried for it at all. So she went to her last feed at 9, asleep by about 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest, and then up again at 6, 7 in the morning. So that's been from about 8 weeks, the same thing. She now mostly sleeps from about 9:30, 10 all the way through until probably about between 7 and 8. So basically I think the most important thing is to have your set times for feeding, because we did feed on demand at first, but then she kind of just found herself into her own routine, but now I very much stick to that routine. She got herself into it and I stick to it. So she wakes up, like I say, between about 7 and 8. We have a feed when she wakes up, so usually about 8 in the morning she'll have her feed, because I usually get her change her nappy and stuff first. So she'll have a feed about 8. She then has another one at 12. She then has another one between 4 and 5. If I can hold out till 5, then I will, because it just makes the 9 o'clock feed less time between the two. But if she wants it at 4, then I'll give it to her at 4. She then has her last bottle between 8:30 and 9, and then she goes to bed at 9:30. And every single night we do the same thing. So she'll have her bottle, she'll already be changed for bed. I'll do her nappy, put her cream on, because I put cream on her only before she goes to bed. I don't do it any other time when I change the nappy. It's just to stop any irritation, because she's sleeping for like 10 hours a night, and obviously if you're sleeping in a wet nappy for that long you are going to get irritated skin. So I put Weleda nappy cream on, which is really good, before she goes down for the night. So I change the nappy, I do that, she gets changed for bed, I give her the bottle, the light's always off, because we're usually watching the telly anyway, so I put the main lights off, so it's just the light from the TV that's on. I then take her into the other room and I lie with her until she goes to sleep. I usually tell her a story, so just something like Red Riding Hood or The Three Bears, but I usually kind of whisper it to her. So I don't normally have a book, and I don't normally say it loud like this. I usually am very close to her and I whisper it. Sometimes we'll sing a song, but most of the time I just tell a story, and by the time I'm halfway through the story, she's asleep. I'm now, because what I was doing was just going to bed with her because I'm back at work, so I was just going to bed with her and getting up with her in the morning. But I'm now trying to let her be in the room for a little while, sleeping, and I'll come back in and watch the telly for a bit and then go into bed, because I don't want her to get too used to me always being in the room with her, and it would be nice just to be able to go and have some adult time, watch some TV and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying now. Some nights is better than others. Some nights she will keep waking and crying for me to come back. Some nights she's quite settled and is quite happy. So it just depends. The other thing that I always do is I swaddle her still. I need to stop doing that soon, but that is definitely something that I think has helped her sleep through, especially when she was like 6, 7, 8 weeks, because you know, her arms are then tightly wrapped, and she used to wake herself up by flinging her arms around a lot, but when she swaddles she can't do that. So I definitely think the swaddling her when she was that young helped her to sleep through. The other thing I will say is that we do co-sleep. That may make a difference on the fact that she's sleeping through all night. We didn't at first, and the first time she ever slept through, the first couple of times she ever slept through the night, she was actually in her Moses basket by herself. So I know that she can sleep through without being in our bed. We've just decided to co-sleep because I don't really know really. It wasn't something that we thought about, it just kind of happened. I'm quite happy with the arrangement, and in the next couple of weeks I'm going to be transitioning her back into a cot because she's getting a bit bigger now. Our bed's not the biggest of double beds as it is, and you know, I don't think for us, I don't think it's a good idea that she stays in the bed for a long period. She's already been in our bed for about 6 weeks now, but I want to transition her now into her own bed because I'd really like for when we move to a bigger place for her to have her own room and sleep in there and have all her toys and things in there. And I just think it's going to be easier to start that transition sooner rather than later. So we do co-sleep, so that may, you know, makes a difference to our sleeping arrangements with her. But I definitely think the key things to getting a baby to sleep through the night is keeping a routine, you know, scheduling the feeds if you need to, but most babies fall into their own pattern of feeding anyway. Obviously this is different if you're breastfeeding. We bottle feed, so it's easy for us to kind of schedule feeds in, and she, like I say, just kind of fell into the routine by herself, and I've just kept up with it. So definitely having a routine, doing some kind of bedtime ritual if you like. So I do the story, the last feed with the light off, and I lie with her to sleep, and she knows then it's bedtime. And also when I swaddle her in the blanket, she also knows that's bedtime, because for her naps in the day I don't do that. She just sleeps with the blanket just over her. She usually sleeps on the sofa, and while I'm sitting, and I'll sit with her while she's having a nap, because she usually doesn't nap for that long. And then I can get on with some work on my laptop at the same time. So yeah, I think that having, you know, things that always happen every single night, whether that's a bath, you know, story, a song, whatever, you know, just helps baby to recognise this is bedtime now. We don't do baths every night because sometimes I'll do them in the morning. It just depends. Because of my work pattern, I don't like to commit to say she's going to have a bath every night. That's part of her ritual for bed, because I cannot always guarantee that, you know, I'm going to be back early enough to do it. Sometimes I get back late and I think, oh, you know, I don't want to be messing around with the bath now, I'll just give her one in the morning. So that's why I don't do that. But if you can do that, then that's a good thing to do. So I think that's about it. If you have any hints and tips about how you got your baby to sleep through the night, please leave comments below. Anything to help all the other mummies out there really. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.